Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with our last 2022 Season 2 iRacing content review. I feel like I finally got that down towards a snappy title. Today we are back with the big one. Yes, iRacing confirmed that we'd have two of the Brazilian stock cars coming to the sim. Massive V8 engines, plenty of power. I'm really intrigued to see how these things are going to handle, and of course we had to take them to the home of Brazilian motorsport. It is, of course, here back at Interlagos. Now, of course, this one's a bit more of a head-to-head today. So what we're going to do, 5 laps each around Interlagos. We're going to do 4 sighting laps, getting used to the car, and then I'm going to give myself 1 lap to really try and get the lap nailed here. Again, you know, it's just a bit of fun. I'm not going to be sort of trying to compare them, you know, raw lap times, because, of course, whichever car I go in second is likely to have a little bit of an upper hand there. But first of all then, we're going to come here in the new Chevrolet Cruze Stock Car Pro. And like I said, I have got no idea what I'm heading to with these cars as well there. Oh, these things sound good immediately. Right, Leah, let's just see what... Oh, not very good on the steering rack immediately. That was the first intention I'm getting there, but... And not much visibility either. I mean, what's all that about? That's kind of insane when you look at this thing there. Perhaps this is a car I should have driven in VR, but I mean, yeah, we're not even revving it at the moment. Should we give it the full beans? I love these sort of ridiculous race cars that you still get in some parts of the world. Now, I don't know, actually, if... Oh, this thing definitely... Yeah, definitely, if it has got ABS and traction control, not a lot of it must be said. I don't think it does. I was trying to be really careful on... Oh no, I think it has got ABS based on that, but I think, yeah, if the traction control's on it, it's not working very hard, to be honest. So yeah, running... Whoa. But, oh man, what on earth? Oh, where am I going? You can tell I've played far too much F1 2021 around this track. Slightly different deviations there down through the bottom of the hill, but yeah, I'm going to sort of let it properly stretch its legs out of Jingsao there, but immediately I'm getting the sense, you know, these things don't actually rev as high as I thought they would, but especially when the tyres are cold, this thing wants to slide absolutely everywhere. Let's just let it... It does weirdly snap back though. Let's let it properly rev out of the final corner, see what sort of speeds we're going to be capable of. Weirdly, not as quick as I was expecting. We're only going to be doing about 150 miles an hour as we head back up towards turn 1. I've broke far too late and managed to snag a brake there. So maybe... I don't know if we have ABS. I'm going to have to brake a lot earlier. Back into turn 1. That is safe to say. But yeah, these things are very different immediately to what I was expecting from them. Still a lot of... You know, I mean, we're sawing away at the wheel like no tomorrow. Desperately trying to get this thing to grip up, but it's, yeah, not as fast as I thought it would be. It's kind of more like a weirdly loose GT 3.5 car, I guess is kind of the way, pace-wise, I can sort of describe it there. It's not as fast as a GT3, I'm pretty certain. If it is, it certainly doesn't feel like it, but yeah, feels loose and lively though, which is kind of good, and feels light. And I think that's, of course, the other important thing there, you know, sort of tipping into a corner. It will do all this on you, but it will just about end up still pointing in the right direction. Let's just get it through the S's. I mean, look at this. It's a handful. This is going to be an interesting driving challenge over the next couple of months now. I'm intrigued to see, actually, what sort of reception these cars get. But, yeah, I mean, obviously in a moment, when we jump out the other one, we'll have to wait and see. It's... Whoa! Oh, we've Max Verstappened it, back from one of his very first F1 tests. It's lively, this thing, but it's lively in a very odd way. Just right when you least expect it, it suddenly then decides, oh, actually, I'm just going to, you know, just let the back end kick out on you, because why not? But, again, in sort of a weird, controllable fashion. It's like nothing I've ever driven before. This is brilliant. It's not insanely fast, but it's a handful. And that's sometimes the best cars to try and drive, you know, the ones you feel like you can really push it right up to the limit there. Braking just for the 100 back in towards turn 1. Yeah, not the best brakes in the world by any means. That certainly doesn't give you the same confidence that it'll stop like a lot of European race cars. But I mean, look at that! We can't even full throttle on the exit of the Senna S there without it trying to kick out on me. This thing is a handful. I mean, what it's done immediately, it just put a big smile on my face, and that often is the most important thing there. Is, come on, get in the right direction. I've got to do some racing in this, depending on what attendance is like. If there's like a weekly streamed race on this, I'm going to have to do my absolute damnedest to try and make sure I'm available at the time. Oh, maybe I'm just overstepping it a little bit there as we head back up the hill. Remember, I've only got, one more lap after this one before we're going on our attack mode lap, so we have got to try and start getting our eye in a little bit more. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't actually rev particularly high. I thought it would rev a lot higher than it is, but I'm guessing, you know, sort of emissions, everything like that nowadays. Even Brazilian stock cars have just sort of got to be pegged back a little bit, as, yeah, this thing will just four-wheel drift absolutely everywhere. Let's try and focus a bit more then. Try and start maximising. You can't do that with it at a Jungsao. Will it just easy life to rears and spin right round? Yes, it will. But definitely, yeah, definitely traction control and ABS then, which I was quite surprised by. I don't know if you can turn those off anywhere. I don't think you could. Steering wheel, brake bias, no, just the ARBs. So that's, I mean, not a shame by any means. I think you'd be a bit mad try and run this thing without no traction control with the way it's handling at the moment. But I just can't get over the dash and everything like that. You know, you got all those switches. It's like a fighter jet looking at the top of the cockpit there. It's, I mean, surely, yeah, visibility isn't great in these things. I mean, I know Brazilian stock cars as well. A lot of their calendars are around just purpose-built sort of street tracks in the middle of cities there. And, I mean, from the ones I've seen, maybe on Automobilista, they're not particularly wide. And these things are not small by any stretch either there, as we head back down in towards the Escudo de Lago. Yeah, trying to just get our eye on a little bit more there, as, like I said, only going to give myself 5 laps in each of these vehicles, but these, I mean, this Chevrolet immediately has put a smile on my face. I'm going to be intrigued to see whether there's many differences, or whether they're kind of just rebadged to the same cars there, but never on iRacing. I'm still we're going sideways, and somehow just about catch it again. How do these things not have circular wheel rims with the way they handle? Right, let's get ourselves ready then for a proper lap here at Interlagos. Course all the way starts down at the bottom at Jungsao, and yeah, I'm going to have to really concentrate and be on my A game here if I want to try and drag any sort of proper pace out of this Chevy. Right, come on, Matt. Let's try and do this thing proud. For all the Brazilians out there watching. As he immediately almost bins it at the final corner, but huge run back up towards start-finish line. I did really consider doing the moto layout. To be honest, I'm happy I didn't, because this thing is an absolute weapon. Sounds good, though, when you get it revving. One more lap here in the Chevy. Let's see what it's capable of. we're going to pick up 1x late on in the lap, but a couple of small mistakes here and there, but happy we can keep it pointing roughly in the right direction all the way around here. But what is this time going to be then in the Chevy Cruze Brazilian stock car here? I mean, yeah, if the other car's as good as this, we are in for an absolute treat as well. They're up towards the line, shortest run to the flag, and it's going to be... It doesn't want to tell me, because obviously the lap got invalidated. So it reckons the fastest we've done then is a 1:44.9. I wonder if I can quickly have a look, actually, just on the lap data. Oh no, we did go 1/100th of a second slower on that final lap there. But look at that car as well. It looks aggressive. It looks brilliant. I've found my new series, I think, people. But yeah, let's head out then. Not such a fan of that line. Back in towards Tel 1. Let's jump in the other car, though, and see what that's going to be capable of. Right, and here we are then, back in the all-new Toyota Corolla as well then. I love the fact, Chevy, it kind of seems believable, the fact that, you know, the Brazilians would come to them and go, we want a V8 race car in 2022. Toyota, though, why are they getting involved in these sorts of things? You know, they're meant to be a sensible Japanese company, but, I mean, when you break it down, Toyota are insane when it comes to their racing division still, which... They've kind of made a sort of renaissance over the last couple of years as well there. But, yeah, I'm intrigued to see whether this thing's going to handle very different at all, actually, to the Chevy. You know, I kind of get the sense they're going to be pretty much sort of two outer shells of a very, very similar car. So we just head out of the pit lane again. So, again, a 1:44 is the time to be, or a high 1:44. Let's just see what this thing's going to be capable of. Again, very, very similar dash, everything like that. Not much visibility. But sort of slowly learn, actually, with the Chevy. You know, when you're sliding it into a corner, you kind of got to keep the throttle on slightly. Just sort of keep tapping it, a bit like Senna used to do in his Formula 1 cars. Just to actually try and keep the rear wheels spinning. Sort of try and match them with the fronts. This thing... Oh no, it slides just as much. Oh, this is so fun. I love these stupid cars on iRacing sometimes, you know. Oh, oh. Yeah, this is going to be just as much of a handful as the Chevy there. But yeah, intrigued to see sort of once people probably sort of dive into the numbers, whether there is actually any sort of proper difference between these cars. Because then again, of course, it very quickly just becomes a game of which car do you sort of like the look of more than anything else, or which team do you generally back as well in motorsport. But yeah, these things handle very, very similarly though. But got to sort of get my eye back in again, see if there are any sort of nuances with this second car. But yeah, going back to Toyota, what are they doing at the moment? It's insane, you know. LMP, well, no longer LMP1. Of course, yeah, the new LM hybrid class of race car. You know, still tearing it up in the WRC. The GR Yaris as well, of course, has been... I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say a bad word about that thing. And then, of course, yeah, you know, NASCAR's still there, competing over there. Still to this day, WRC. And Brazilian stock cars, apparently. I mean, they still do a little bit, I want to say, here in the UK as well, in the British Touring Car Series. But could we potentially see at some point, you know, some GT3s, GT4 Toyotas as well? I know they sort of do a little bit in the Japanese GT500 and GT300, which are obviously very, very sort of similar. GT500 and GT3 are pretty well homologated nowadays, but it does beg the question, sort of, where do Toyota go next with their racing cars? And if the answer's sideways, like I'm trying to do now, I think I'm all here for it. Come on, keep it clean, keep it tidy, man. But, yeah, I mean, what a car. Like I said, sounds exactly the same as the Chevy. Pretty certain they've got exactly the same power plant in them, but you can't go wrong with a V8. I mean, I forgot to mention it during the Chevy lap when I was kind of properly concentrating. It's the kickback, the backfire you get every time you change up or down. I mean, we'll lift off into here. Oh, it's just throwing fuel into the engine and spitting it all out of the exhaust on the exit there. That's just how much you can push this thing as well. Again, just these things love to slide. I wonder if they're on semi-slick tyres as well. That's sort of the impression I'm getting from them at the moment there. You know, they just allow that bit of slip, but they're willing to snap back into line as well underneath you there. And it's just so rewarding when you get it hooked up. But yeah, might not need all 5 laps though. Again, like I said, you know, I mean, we've already gone faster, so yeah, I think that says everything we need to know about that then. The fact these two cars are basically identical. So I think we'll go for one sort of proper, absolute insane push lap then we'll try and do sort of a proper sweat mode lap as well there. This lap will just be pushing it to and maybe beyond the limits, trying to kick the back end out, everything like that, and just seeing how well it does stick. But yeah, then we'll sort of go for our concentration lap. Or we'll do that, I suppose. Keep it out the wall, Matt. Keep it out the wall. Do not want to break a Brazilian stock car. I feel like... Actually, I don't know. Yeah, these things are probably still very expensive, but I'd want to hope they're not quite sort of in the same realms as sort of GT3 cars and things like that, because boy, do they not handle with the same level of sophistication as well. These things are surely, again, like I mentioned, you know, Brazilian stock cars, they race around a lot of sort of set-up street tracks in a lot of places as well. As I might have overcooked the rubber slightly. Yeah, might just need to sort of tone it back down quickly before we go on our sweat mode lap. But yeah, surely these things, I mean, they're touring cars. They're stock cars at the end of the day. They're designed to sort of throw a few punches around the place as well. But yeah, surely if there's a proper sort of community sort of weekly race in this thing, I'm going to have to jump in. I'm going to have to jump in. You can't not in a car like this. It's just so rewarding, so much fun. Let's go then. Going to give ourselves one lap less because, of course, like I said, these cars do handle very, very similarly. But let's try and go for one sweat mode lap then. Interlagos as well is such a good track for these sorts of things, you know, just sliding it around all the long arched corners. And yeah, fingers crossed we can try and sort of see what time we can get. 43.2 is the benchmark. I reckon we can get this thing down into the 42s. And again, we definitely could with the other car. Oh no! Oh no! Don't hit the wall! Don't hit the wall! All right, we are going to give ourselves the full 5 laps then. Is completely snag the brake in towards turn 1 there. Just clip the bump that's quite high up on the run in towards that first corner there, and it was always a case of when it was going to go wrong in that situation rather than if. I think, yeah, we've, apart from the Hyundai that I did a video in yesterday, if you missed out on that one, definitely recommend going back and checking it out. I think we have pretty much spanning every car we've driven in these little preview content videos, which, I mean, we're pushing them. Safe to say, a lot of them have been a bit of a handful as well. We've kind of had a weird... In what other sim where you get an update where you get an F4 car, a touring car, a GT4 car, and some Brazilian stock cars? Only iRacing things. You'd love to see it. You know, the fact they got a team that works on so many different things around the same time, as I'm just doing pirouettes now. You know, for style points, I'm going to guess. Right, come on, Matt. Get the tyres back in check. Let's go for one final sort of proper lap there in these stock cars. But, oh, yeah, these, just, iRacing is so much fun. I want to do more content on the sim as well there, just because it is so rewarding when you put the hours in, and just trying to get into a routine with it is the difficult thing. One more lap here in the Toyota Corolla. Let's try and actually not balls it up in towards T1 this time. Almost binned it heading out of the final corner there, but that was a lap that was probably way over the limit, but still happy that I managed to keep it pointing in the right direction there. No idea whether it's going to be an improvement. I think that 43.2 kind of came out of nowhere there, but up towards the start-finish line it is going to be... It was slower. So we did do that one lap not concentrating, and turns out it was the fastest one I did there. Clearly, you can't overdrive these things in the way I've tried to do so here tonight. What was that final lap time, though? Just out of interest there. I mean, yeah, that thing as well. It was a 43.6. So actually wasn't too far away there at all. It was our first lap that we went fastest, which was, yeah, kind of quite funny at the end of the session. But thank you all so much for watching these videos. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. That's us done, though, for 2022 new content that we're going to cover on the channel. Of course, there was also, like, the Buick LeSabre and a couple of other weird sort of American tracks that I haven't picked up just yet. So maybe down the line we'll give those a go as well there. But of course, new season starts tomorrow. I'm going to try and jump in with a couple of series, give you guys some weekly iRacing content. Again, of course, Gran Turismo 7 as well. Hopefully the daily races have now been sorted so we can dive into some of those. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon with more sim racing content.